Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Tom Matthews.
And I'm Joanne Taranto. Thanks for joining us this morning. And today we wanted to talk about staying cool during the buying process, not falling victim to FOMO or getting caught up in the emotion of the buying process in a very hot market.
Yeah.
So Tom, what do you think about people getting, having FOMO when they're bidding on homes?
I something that Joanne and I used to introduce to people, it's a term called a Batna, and it's the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And as a buyer, you have to always have like, what is my alternative? Is my
Right.
alternative that I'm going to continue renting for a couple more months? Renting has such a negative connotation. Joanne and I get calls every day and people are like, we're just throwing money out the door to rent. But with Joanne and I have been selling real estate for 18 years. And there was a time when real estate went down in value.
Mhm.
And some people may have rented, but they didn't have permanence and they had the
Right.
opportunity to protect their money.
Yep.
Because, I remember there was a time when Joanne and I went and took a class in Connecticut and it was on loss mitigation certification.
That's
How
right.
to become a loss mitigator to help people who are getting foreclosed on. And that seems like that memory is like burned in my brain. And so our goal is to protect clients, like to make sure that they have a safe, good, sound financial experience buying a home. What do you think, Joanne?
I think probably the biggest piece of advice that we give to our clients is that real estate is a long-term investment.
Yeah.
So we understand the excitement of buying, maybe buying your first home or buying your second home. But the reality of the situation is that you need to put yourself in a position where you are in a property that you are number one happy in, okay, and can be happy in for the long term. But the second thing is that you need to be in a property where you're financially sound.
Yes.
Your quality of life is so important to Tom and I
Yeah.
because we want you to be able to go on vacation. We want you to be able to go out with friends and hire babysitters or whatever it is you like to do. We want you to continue your lifestyle. Nothing is worse than being house poor.
Yeah.
And we work really hard to not let people get into a situation where if things got tight financially, that they would be in a terrible position and needing to give up their lifestyle.
I think also psychologically, like if you buy a home that you love the lifestyle, it gives you work from home, school from home, restaurant from home. It gives you everything you want. And if the market were to dip, let's just say the market dipped 10% or 15%, and you would put down 15% of the home, and now you feel like you're at a neutral position or even a little underwater. If
Yep.
you love the home and your financial position hasn't changed, psychologically, you have to be able to handle that.
Yep.
And that's an important component that a lot of people don't talk about because the market's been going up for so long that people have forgotten that it can change. And we just want to be like a sound of reason to people that the markets can change. And we feel like, we're closer to the market starting to cool down than we are it ramping up. And so this is a really critical time for buyers to stay cool. Right,
Yeah.
Joanne?
And we also think that, there's always we always call it the BBD, the bigger,
Yeah.
better deal, right? So once you buy a piece of real estate, there's just always going to be another house that comes on the market either weeks or months or even years after you've been in that property, and it's the bigger, better deal. And you're going to, wish you had capitalized on it.
Right.
You have to have the fortitude to say, I'm really happy with the acquisition that I've made, and this is my path for the time being, because nothing is worse than having buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
And so we work really hard to get into the nitty gritties with you and your families about what is important to you as far as lifestyle, commuting, and how you live in the property and the things that you need. We want you to find a property that can work for the long term, maybe something you can grow into, but also something that's going to serve the purposes for your life for not just right now, for a long time. And if you decide to move before that long time comes, that's your choice.
Correct.
But what we want you to understand is that real estate is traditionally a long-term investment, and it should be viewed that way, regardless of the market hype around you.
Yeah, no, I think that's really great, Joanne. I think, because so many people, it just makes me crazy what I'm seeing, particularly as a listing agent, when I'm seeing people coming in and behaving with what we call irrational exuberance and just putting all the rational thoughts in their brain to the side and just going for it. And then, just leaving themselves no options for what if happens in life. So,
Yep.
so we just want to thank you
Well,
for
it's just-
listening. Yeah, go ahead, Joanne.
It's just another way that we're doing things a little bit differently and tweaking our approach based on what we feel is best for our clients. So we appreciate you joining us this morning. And I'm Joanne Taranto.
I'm Tom Matthews. Cheers.
Cheers.